Today is a good day for Palantir's. Palantir's price just went up. The market is slowly recovering. Analysts are dropping their signals. Palantir dropped massive bombshells again. And this could save Palantir's price soon. We might be entering an exciting era for Palantir. A massive 10-time surge in price is closer than we think. What is happening? And what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is showing some real strength right now. Even after all the doubts, it managed to hold its ground, keeping its price steady in the mid-80s. A lot of people were skeptical at first, wondering if this was just a temporary boost before another drop. Some thought it was only a matter of time before it lost momentum and slipped back down. But that didn't happen. Instead, Palantir held firm, proving that this wasn't just a quick spike. It was actually stabilizing. This shift completely changed the mood around the stock. Just a short while ago, there was uncertainty, hesitation, even fear that it would tumble again. Now, that nervous energy is fading. Investors who were on edge are starting to feel a bit more confident. The community, which had been holding its breath, is finally seeing signs of recovery. It's not just wishful thinking anymore. There's real proof that Palantir is steadying itself. Of course, no one's calling it a full comeback just yet. There's still a long way to go before it can truly reclaim its former highs. But for now, the fact that it hasn't crashed back down is enough to give people hope. And here's the thing. One analyst took a deep dive into Palantir's chart and laid it all out. He broke down that sharp drop and pointed out something interesting. Right now, there's a key level sitting just above where the price is holding, acting like a ceiling. But if the market plays along, there's room for a solid recovery, possibly pushing Palantir back toward that big round triple-digit mark. And here's another reason people are paying attention. Deal flow has been strong. Palantir isn't just coasting, it's landing deals, keeping momentum going behind the scenes. That's the kind of thing that gives investors confidence, making them think this could be more than just a temporary pause before another drop. The pieces are there. It's just a matter of whether the market is ready to push it higher. But hey, did you know? Palantir might actually pump to 1K soon? And yes, I'm not kidding. And the reason? Well, I'll later explain it clearly at the later part of the video, so better stick and watch until the end. However, another analyst jumped in with even more insights, breaking down exactly what's happening with Palantir's price action. He updated the chart and pointed out that Palantir had a strong push, closing up over 7% in the middle of the week. But here's what makes that move even more interesting. It wasn't just some random spike. Palantir was running alongside some of the biggest AI names, and the volume was solid, but not excessive. That's usually a sign of healthy buying rather than just hype-driven momentum. What really stood out, though, was how Palantir managed to close above a key short-term moving average, something only a handful of major stocks, like Meta and Nvidia, were able to do. And that's not something you see every day. This kind of price action is a big hint that institutional investors are stepping in, putting serious money behind the stock. When the big players start buying, it usually means they see potential for something bigger. Palantir also bounced right off a crucial support level and is now creeping back into that tricky resistance zone between 84 and 87. This is a big test. If it can push through and hold above 87, we could be looking at a real trend reversal. But for that to happen, the volume needs to pick up, at least 1.5 times what we're seeing now. Without that extra push, it could struggle to break out. Beyond that, there are even bigger levels to watch. If Palantir manages to clear 87, the next big targets are 92, then 96, and eventually that triple-digit mark at 103. But it all comes down to whether buyers can keep up the momentum. Right now, Palantir is in a crucial spot, and the next few moves will tell us if this rally has real legs or if it's just another temporary bounce. But wait, hold on, wait a minute. It looks like Palantir might actually push to 1K soon. And no, I'm not being crazy, it's actually possible now. And later on the video, I will reveal how and why. So don't forget to watch until the end for the golden answer. But here's the kicker. Big money investors are making some major adjustments too. Loop Capital Markets just lowered its price target on Palantir from $141 to $125. But here's the interesting part. They're still sticking with a buy rating, meaning they still see long-term value in the stock, even after the recent turbulence. This adjustment didn't come out of nowhere. It followed a private meeting between one of Loop Capital's analysts and Palantir's CFO David Glazer, along with his finance team. During that meeting, the analyst got an inside look at Palantir's AI product integration, seeing firsthand how the company is weaving artificial intelligence into its business. They also went over Palantir's market strategy, operations, and where things are headed next. And despite lowering their target, they're still bullish on the company. Why? Because Palantir's numbers are solid. The company boasts an impressive profit margin of over 80%, and its revenue has grown nearly 30% in the last year. Even with all the ups and downs, Palantir's stock has surged 135% over the past 6 months, proving that there's still strong momentum behind it. On top of that, the company maintains a healthy financial position, with a current ratio near 6 and manageable debt levels. Palantir has been on a wild ride, no doubt, but its position in the AI world remains strong. Its ability to handle complex data and its strategic push into enterprise AI are keeping it ahead of the curve. Even with Loop Capital adjusting expectations, the company's financial health and overall market strength are still catching the attention of investors. And if history tells us anything, when institutional money stays interested, there's usually a reason for it. But wait, whatever corrections we're seeing in Palantir's price right now might just be a temporary shakeup. Why? Because Palantir isn't slowing down. In fact, it's expanding. And now we've got big news. Palantir just announced a strategic partnership with Ripcord, a move that could unlock entirely new layers of enterprise data using robotics, AI, and automation. This isn't just another deal. It's a serious step forward. Palantir's tech is already known for handling massive amounts of complex data. And now, by teaming up with Ripcord, they're taking it even further. This partnership is all about bringing cutting-edge automation and AI together, helping businesses make sense of their data in ways they never could before. However, here's the thing. While some are excited about Palantir's strength, others are saying the drop was inevitable because, well, it was just way too expensive. One analyst even threw in some sarcasm, joking that people were blaming tariffs for the dip when the real issue was pretty obvious. Palantir was trading at sky-high valuations. It was running at hundreds of times its earnings, priced way ahead of its future profits, and carrying a price-to-sales ratio that was through the roof. On top of that, its price-to-earnings multiple was absolutely massive. Basically, it was sitting at a level where any little shakeup could send it tumbling. So, according to the skeptics, this wasn't about bad news or external factors. It was just a classic case of a stock cooling off after running way too hot. They see the drop as a much-needed correction rather than something to panic about. But, of course, not everyone agrees. Some believe Palantir's growth potential justifies those big numbers, while others think it still has a long way to fall. But wait, speaking of numbers, I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Something even wilder just happened. Palantir's official Twitter page posted something that got everyone talking. In reference to their new partnership, they dropped this simple but powerful message: more data, more robots, more automation, powered by Palantir. Now, hold on. Does this mean Palantir is becoming a robotics company? If so, this is huge. And here's why. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, just made a massive prediction about the future of robotics. And if he's right, Palantir might be positioning itself at the center of one of the biggest technological revolutions of our time. Huang recently declared that we are entering the robotics era, a time when AI-powered automation will take over industries from manufacturing and logistics to healthcare and retail. Unlike traditional automation that follows rigid programming, these new AI-driven robots will be able to learn, adapt, and improve on their own. This isn't some distant sci-fi fantasy. It's happening right now. They are already leading this charge by developing cutting-edge AI computing systems that power intelligent robots. We're talking about a future where robots don't just follow commands. They think, analyze, and make decisions in real time. So what does this mean for Palantir? If they're integrating robotics and automation into their AI-driven platforms, they're not just playing in the data space anymore. They're stepping into the next wave of AI evolution. This could be the moment where Palantir breaks into an entirely new market. And if Jensen Huang's prediction is right, the demand for AI-powered robotics is going to explode. And here's where things get really interesting. We've talked about this before. Many analysts have thrown out wild price targets for Palantir, with some even saying it could reach $1,000 in the future. At the time, it might have sounded crazy, but now? If the robotics era is truly about to take off, and Palantir cements itself as a key player in this space, then suddenly, those high price predictions don't seem so impossible. The pieces are lining up. AI, automation, robotics, it's all coming together. And Palantir? They might just be at the center of it all. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with Palantir is stabilizing its price today. The market is slowly recovering. People are keeping their eyes on the chart. Analysts are dropping massive bombshells. A value of $20 trillion is no joke. Nvidia CEO just shocked the whole Palantir community. Will we finally see the light at the end of the tunnel? Or is this something else? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Okay, today might not be the worst day for Palantir. After a rough patch, the stock has managed to catch a bit of a break, bouncing back slightly and hovering somewhere in the mid-80s. Sure, it's still in the red, but we're finally seeing little signs of life, a few glimmers of a potential recovery. And honestly, that's something to hold on to. It's not a massive jump, but even small steps in the right direction can bring a little relief. For those of us following Palantir closely, this feels like a much-needed breather. It's like the market is starting to ease up, giving the stock a chance to find its footing again. The overall atmosphere is slowly shifting, with a more bullish vibe creeping in. Analysts are paying close attention, watching for any signals that could point to a stronger comeback. Of course, it's still too early to call it a full recovery, but at least we're seeing some movement in the right direction. Could this be the beginning of a bigger push upward? Well, that's the big question, and we'll just have to watch and see how things play out. But here's the thing. One analyst took a deep dive into Palantir's chart, and let's just say he didn't hold back. He called it the poster boy of an overheated market, saying that when the stock was soaring, people were convinced it would just keep going, pushing valuations into the stratosphere. Then reality kicked in. And well, let's just say the market decided it had enough. Right now, it's all about key levels. The stock is kind of stuck in a tug-of-war between support and resistance. If the bears want to push it down further, they'll need to break through the levels that have been holding strong so far. On the flip side, if the bulls want to see a stronger rebound, those trend lines need to hold firm. It's basically a two-on-two showdown between buyers and sellers, with the stock caught in the middle. And this analyst? He's not too optimistic. He thinks support won't hold, and if that happens, Palantir could slide down toward the lower 70s before it finds enough momentum for a bounce. He's waiting for it to hit that sweet spot, where it looks oversold, before jumping back in for a potential swing trade. Oh, and here's something wild. Out of nearly 700 big-name stocks trading in the US, Palantir is the only one still sitting way above its long-term moving average, even after dropping over 30% from its peak. No other stock is in that position. Just goes to show how crazy overextended it was. And honestly, still kind of is. So yeah, the battle continues. The question is, which side is going to win? But wait, before you start thinking it's all doom and gloom, not everyone is bearish on Palantir. In fact, some analysts are still pretty bullish, and one even thinks the stock is on the verge of a breakout. He pointed out that key technical indicators are actually signaling an upward move. Basically, these momentum indicators are lining up perfectly with wave analysis, suggesting that Palantir might be gearing up for a rally, maybe even as soon as the next trading session. It's like all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, hinting that the stock could be ready to push higher. This analyst is tracking a few different scenarios, but the main idea? Palantir could be setting up for a move into the triple digits, following a specific pattern known as a flat ABC wave. There's also a chance it might dip slightly before taking off, but overall, everything he's looking at points to an upside move happening sooner rather than later. What's really interesting is that all the different wave counts he's analyzing, even though they have slight variations, are basically saying the same thing. Palantir is either at its bottom or extremely close to it. That kind of agreement across different methods makes the bullish case even stronger. So for investors and traders watching Palantir, the takeaway here is pretty clear. The setup is looking more like a launch pad than a trapdoor. Instead of expecting more heavy drops, this analysis suggests being prepared for an upward push. The way things are shaping up, a move toward higher prices could be right around the corner. Now the question is, who's going to be right? The bears calling for lower prices, or the bulls who see a breakout coming? But wait, there's even more good news. One analyst just pointed out something pretty wild. He revealed that Elon Musk and Doge have been slashing contracts left and right, canceling deals worth almost $1 billion with a bunch of big-name companies. mainly those fancy consulting firms that charge a fortune for steak dinners and flashy PowerPoint presentations. And guess what? Palantir wasn't on that list. Not a single contract was canceled. Zero. That's a big deal. It means Musk sees real value in what Palantir brings to the table. He's not cutting them off like the others because Palantir actually delivers. Unlike those traditional firms that rely on polished sales pitches, Palantir's technology speaks for itself. It's built to handle massive amounts of data, make sense of complex problems, and provide real-world solutions. Things Musk, of all people, would appreciate. Think about it. Musk is all about efficiency, cutting waste, and keeping only what works. If Palantir was just another overpriced firm with fancy presentations, they'd be gone too. But they're not. They're still in the game, untouched, while others are getting the axe. That says a lot about how valuable their technology really is. So while other companies are scrambling after losing big contracts, Palantir is standing strong. And that's a huge vote of confidence. But here's the crazy part. It doesn't stop there. NVIDIA's CEO just dropped some massive news that could be a game changer for Palantir. Jensen Huang, the guy leading NVIDIA, said that the robotics era isn't some distant future. It's right around the corner. He made this bold claim during his CES keynote, and ever since, interest in robotics companies has been heating up. The problem? There aren't a lot of investable robotics stocks out there right now. But that's about to change as AI keeps advancing, making robots smarter, safer, and able to move seamlessly alongside humans. So, why is this a big deal for Palantir? Simple. Palantir's technology is all about data, AI, and making complex systems work together. And what do robots need? Exactly that. The more AI-powered automation grows, the more companies will need Palantir software to process mountains of real-time data and make split-second decisions. This is why Palantir's current price? Just temporary. We're barely at the starting line. The market might be shaky right now, but if you zoom out and look at where things are heading, it's clear. Palantir is positioning itself right in the middle of the next big wave. AI, automation, robotics, it all connects. And when this sector takes off, Palantir won't just be riding the wave, it'll be helping build it. So yeah, the short-term price swings, they don't tell the full story. We're just getting started. And here's the kicker. If you're still feeling nervous about Palantir's price, one analyst shared a perspective that might change the way you look at it. Yeah, the stock took a hit, dropping from the highs of around 125 to the mid-80s. But here's the thing. It's still up over the past few months. Even with all the dips, all the volatility, Palantir is still in the green over a solid stretch of time. That's the bigger picture most people miss. Stocks don't just move in a straight line up. They have pullbacks, corrections, and shakeouts, especially ones that have had huge runs like Palantir. A dip doesn't erase the fact that the trend is still up, and the fact that it's holding on to gains even after a drop? That says a lot about its overall strength. So sure, the short-term moves can be a little nerve-wracking, but step back for a second. Despite the ups and downs, Palantir is still outperforming, and if the long-term vision plays out, this might just be another bump in the road before the next leg up. So yeah, looking at the long term, Palantir seems to be gearing up for a pretty bright future. And not just bright. Some analysts are downright hopeful. One even went as far as saying that Palantir is on its way to becoming a company worth over 20 trillion. Yeah, trillion with a T. And when it happens, Palantir's stock price will be around $8,700 per share. Now, of course, that's a bold prediction, and we're talking speculation here. But the fact that people are even having these conversations, that says a lot. It shows how much confidence there is in what Palantir is building. The company isn't just another tech stock. It's got real-world applications, serious government contracts, and a role in AI and data that's only growing. These kinds of massive predictions don't just come out of nowhere. They're based on the idea that if Palantir keeps scaling, keeps innovating, and keeps proving its value, there's no telling how big it can get. And the fact that the community is this optimistic, that alone speaks volumes. It's not just hype, it's belief in what's possible. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.